before we were born. We had a leak in the roof, no electricity, a smoky wood stove, a rickety barn, a sleeping porch with a patched screen, and an outhouse prone to snakes. We used kerosene lamps, hauled water from the well, and did a lot of hunting and fishing to add to the larder. We had about 4 acres cut out of the woods and owned another 25 acres of hard timber and pine. We farmed the cleared 4 acres of sandy land with a mule named Sally Redback. We had a car, but Daddy used it mostly for his constable business and Sunday church. The rest of the time we walked, or me and my sister rode Sally Redback. The woods we owned and the hundreds of acres of it that surrounded our land was full of game, chiggers, and ticks. Back then in East Texas, all the big woods hadn't been timbered out, and we didn't have a real advanced forestry department telling us how the forest needed help to survive. We just sort of figured since it had survived centuries without us, it could probably figure things out on its own. And the woods didn't all belong to somebody back then, though of course timber was a big industry and was growing even bigger. But there were still mighty trees and lost places in the woods and along the cool shaded riverbanks that no one had touched but animals. Wild hogs, squirrels, rabbits, coons, possums, some armadillo, and all manner of birds and plenty of snakes were out there. Sometimes you could see water moccasins swimming in a school down the river, their evil heads bobbing up like knobs on logs. And woe unto the fellow fell in amongst them, and bless the heart of the fool who believed if he swam down under them, he'd be safe because a moccasin couldn't bite underwater. They not only could, but would. Deer roamed the woods too, maybe fewer than now, as people grow them like crops these days and harvest them on a 3-day drunk during season from a deer stand with a high-powered rifle. Deer they've corn-fed and trained to be like pets so they can get a cheap free shot and feel like they've done some serious hunting. It costs them more to shoot the deer, ride its corpse around in a pickup, and mount its head than it would cost to go to the store and buy an equal amount of beefsteak. Then there's those who like to smear their faces with the blood after the kill and take photos as if this makes them some kind of warrior. You'd think the damn deer were armed and dangerous. But I've quit talking and gone to preaching. I was saying how we lived. And I was saying about all the game. Then, too, there was the goat man. Half goat, half man. He liked to hang around what was called the swinging bridge. Up until the time I'm telling you about, I had never seen him, but sometimes at night, out possum hunting, I thought maybe I heard him, howling and whimpering down there near the cable bridge that hung bold over the river, swinging with the wind in the moonlight, the beams playing on the metal cables like fairies on ropes. He was supposed to steal animals and children, and though I didn't know of any children that had been eaten, some farmers claimed the goat man had taken their livestock, and there were kids I knew claimed they had cousins taken off by the goat man, never to be seen again. It was said he didn't go as far as the main road because Baptist preachers traveled regular there on foot and by car, making the rounds and therefore making the road holy. We called it the Preacher's Road. It was said the goat man didn't get out of the woods that made up the Sabine bottoms. Highland was something he couldn't tolerate. He needed the damp, thick-leaf mush beneath his feet, which were hooves. Dad said there wasn't any goat man, that it was a wives' tale heard throughout the South. He said what I heard out there was water and animal sounds, but I tell you, those sounds made your skin crawl, and they did remind you of a hurt goat. Mr. Cecil Chambers, who worked with my daddy at the barber shop, said it was probably a panther. They showed up now and then in the deep woods, and they could scream like a woman, he said.